Thank you. I rise to thank my Senate colleagues and Mr. President for supporting this resolution memorializing Governor Kathy Hochul to proclaim the month of March as Women's History Month in the state of New York. We also gather here today in the Senate chamber. We also are marking the end of Black History Month, though we celebrate Black History Month every day in this chamber, and also commemorate the beginning of Women's History Month. And as the Secretary read, we have such a rich legacy of women leaders right here in our state of New York. And so we also continue that legacy right here in the Senate chamber because we do this under the leadership of Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins, who is the first Black woman to lead the New York State Senate, and we do this also with a historic class of freshman senators. We made women's history when we were sworn in just 2 months ago, though it feels like it's been longer, as the first all-women class of incoming senators in the 245-year history of the Senate. I am inspired by the good work we have already done for our communities, and I am proud that we will pave the way for future generations of women leaders. And I also want to share a quote from one of my own personal sheroes and also a former great leader here in New York and in our country, Shirley Chisholm. And this particular quote speaks to why it's important to lift up historic months like this, because as she said, at present, our country needs women's idealism and determination, perhaps more in politics than anywhere else. Mr. President, as the chair of the Women's Issues Committee, I would also like to take a moment as we mark the beginning of Women's History Month here today to applaud the critical work we are doing in this Senate chamber to protect the rights of women and ensure that our state remains a sanctuary for reproductive health in the wake of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. It is also important that we continue to work to improve outcomes for maternal health for all women, but especially for Black mothers and their babies, and also other historically marginalized groups, because we know that they experience the worst childbirth outcomes in the United States, regardless of their socioeconomic status. So again, as we mark the beginning of Women's History Month, I hope you will join me in reaffirming our commitment to equal rights, representation, and full access to reproductive health for all women and girls of New York. I am very proud to be voting in favor of this resolution, and I hope you all will join me as colleagues in celebrating Women's History Month by voting aye. Thank you.